I think $13 million would have sealed the deal for Saquon Barkley. Brian Daboll says he has not contacted Saquon in the last 2 weeks, but he has contacted Odell Beckham, another organization that's willing to go and bring in free agents and other players that are not a part of the organization anymore, or hasn't been, to pay their own players. Yeah. The Baltimore Ravens, they're very well respected around the league, very well built through the GM, through the coaching, through ownership, very well respected around the league. The Maras, the Tishes, and the New York Giants, over the years, they have been the faces of the NFL, one of the teams that have been the faces of the NFL. Very well respected ownership. Daboll's very well respected, but they're not giving their own players the respect. They're going after free agents that honestly you didn't want 2 or 3 years ago, or Gettleman didn't want.
And they also traded for Darren Waller, too. That's a big contract.
That's another thing. They bring in another guy. They're paying him $12 million a year, but they won't pay their best player, the player that is going to touch the ball at least 150, 200 times next year in Saquon Barkley. Yes, you franchise him. Yes, he's getting $10 million. To him, he's worth more. Fighting to come back over the last couple of years with the ACL and MCL tear, and then having the season that he had this year as one of the top 3 running backs in the league, and you don't want to pay him? You're going to franchise him because you know what? You can, and you don't want to pay a running back that could be fighting injury throughout the season. John Mara said that his dream is for Saquon Barkley to remain a Giant for the rest of his career. Many NFL sources believe Saquon would likely get less than $12 million in the open market if the Giants don't sign him to a long-term deal. Saquon's franchise tag is right now $10.1 million this season. Saquon had 295 carries this year for 1,312 yards, 10 touchdowns, averaging 4.4 yards per carry. This is a guy that has no weapons around him. Shepard got hurt in the beginning of the season. They had nothing. They lost Robinson, their second-round pick, early in the season. They had a bunch of nobodies. Don't tell me Slayton. Who's their number one guy? They still haven't given Daniel Jones a weapon, and everybody knows what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball, and this guy still averaged 4.4 yards per carry. What does that tell you about this kid? I understand he's 27, 28. He's getting high as far as age is concerned as a running back. But if he consistently plays the way he has been playing for the last year and a half, you could trust that he's going to go on the field and he's going to give you the reps and the numbers that you need to get you a win.
If the Giants let go of Saquon Barkley, they better have a good plan B to be able to what they're going to be able to do with that money, because you're right. Their receiving position has been very lackluster, and they also have a lot of the same types, too. Isaiah Hodgins was a little bit different because he was a good possession guy, good route runner, big body, but everyone else is very small, quick slot receiver types on this team. Richie James from Wan'Dale Robinson when he was healthy, the little bit he was. Sterling Shepard. Slayton, I guess, is the one deep threat that would be the exception, and that's it. They're all specialists. Like, there's no really surefire thing. So if they want to use that money to go trade for a receiver or they want to draft a receiver and spread the money out that way, I guess. But still, they're going to have a better option to be able to do that, because most of the other positions the Giants have to pay, maybe besides a corner, because they could use definitely some depth there too, are all positions that are all affordable, whether it's with draft stock, whether it's with the free agency. Offensive line, their tackles, I mean, Evan Neal wasn't great last year, but they still have to ride with him on a rookie contract. Their interior, that's what they need more of. They could be better there. And linebackers, they got a little better in the offseason signing Okereke, but it's still not great there either. And then they lost Julian Love, so what do they do at safety? So those positions are all much more easier attainable. A wide receiver and corner, those are the positions they're going to have to prioritize if they decide to trade Saquon Barkley, let that money go 10.1 somewhere else, and then prioritize that way. Otherwise, it's a failure.
They drafted Julian Love. They drafted him.
Yep.
Julian Love was, 2 years ago, he was drafted in the 4th round. Mm-hmm. He finally turned into a pretty good player this year, and then they let him go to free agency. How do you let go of your own players that you draft? You finally found a good player. Now, he's a Gettleman player, but he's still a really good player. He played safety very well this year. At some points, he did play the corner position. So you can move him around. He was probably your best secondary player all season long when he was healthy. And he wasn't that expensive. What did he get in the open market?
$12 million.
$12 million for a good safety? Ask Jamal Adams how much he got paid after getting traded to the Seahawks.
Yeah, now they're teammates.